We are Sizzle Stocks. I got about 30 minutes for you guys. We're going to go through whatever names you want us to look. Thank you, Manny. Oh my gosh, I thought I got that. We got about 30 minutes for you. Let me just give you a quick lay of the land. First one is I have two indicators that I look at. This light blue thing over here, that's called the volume profile. It shows how volume is distributed across this price range. Basically a histogram. So you can see here where the volume is a lot of trading. There was more volume at 40.13 than there was down here at 39.38. So that helps me see how volume is distributed and maybe indicates buying or selling pressure. Number two is this opportunity zone indicator. It's a custom built job, helps me dimensionalize the volume profile. All right, try to make sense of what looks like realistic moves or not based on whatever time frame we're looking at. Okay, and let's see. I see Raymond kicked us off with a look on refiners. Raymond, I was thinking on that. I was just about before I turned on the volume, unmuted myself. Hey, refiners, are it's all the margin between what they can buy it and what they can sell it for, right? And right now there's a lot of tightness in that space. I think that's a really good trade. I know that refining capacity is tight. Almost anything goes wrong, and those spreads blow out. So even at oil goes down to $50, refiners can make a ton of money. Bill, no, it's just me being ding dong. All right. Well, let's get started on a couple things here, and I'm going to go to those names in just a minute. Why don't we take a look at the S&P 500 first? Here's the 30-day. Now this, we had this is the bearish building, and we sold off as a result of that, and now we're kind of building on this volume down here. Here's what I was looking at this just a second ago. On the 10-day, and this is S&P 500 futures. This is kind of a bullish little bottom we're building here. Could be looking at a run up to 4,100 or so based on that, or 40.80 or so. This is very short term over the next couple days. Didn't mean to look at 30-day. Let's look at the 5-day. 5-day is telling me the same thing, and actually, 40.70, very realistic. All right, we had a little extra volume down here, so I'd be cautious. Meaning there's a little more downward bias than normal, but it still looks pretty good. But this one day, whew. So let's look at this 39.67, 39.60. So this isn't a fire sale, right? It's just kind of building in here. This is the 1 day, last 24 hours. 39.40. Yeah, it's not clear cut. Anyway, all right. I wanted to kick us off by looking at the overall market here. Let's go back to Raymond's MPC and VLO. All right, and I'm gonna remember to mark down if I come up with any good names. MPC. Marathon Petroleum. Let's go out to 30 days. Start there. I like to kind of. It's kind of indeterminate. You just got a range right here. It's kind of happy. Building within that range. Yeah, this isn't telling us the 10 days, not a lot of bias in the 10-day, nor in the 5-day, although, it could be, could trade down to 123 or so. But this looks very range happy to me. Let's look out longer term, Raymond. I'm sure you're looking at these. Historically, so refiners are, where are we on a, let's look at 5 year, right? Okay. So, refiners, Marathon Petroleum is as high as it's been in the last 5 years, right? It is certainly to an extreme move. Here's the question, I think on your long thesis, Raymond, is how much fatter can those refining margins get? And how sustainable are we? Now, I think they are very sustainable. I think that there's no way more refining capacity is coming on anytime in the next 10 years, right? It takes 10 years and billions of dollars, and we're a capital constrained, underinvested infrastructure environment. So there's a lot of wind in the sails of refiners, right? They're on the right side of shortages and scarcity, but it is at a very high level, right? So, but anyway, so you're not going to get much out of the volume profile on the longer term here, but it's certainly at an extreme level. And I tell you what, just based on these shorter terms like the 10-day and the 30-day, the market doesn't seem to be unhappy with it. It's at a pretty good. It's building a consensus around this price of 126, and could keep driving higher. I think it all has to do with the how the fundamentals build out on that on the margins, right? Valero. Valero, same sort of thing, right? I mean, there's a little downward. No, I'm not even going to say that. Here's, you've got a reasonable range, 10-day, right? There's just no bias, right? It's just kind of trading in this range, which a little wider range, but nothing extreme. Let's take a look. And that is, yeah. Let's 5-day. So it's got a nice bid down here, right? This is buyers on offense. So if it trades down to 129, this might be a good place to accumulate because there seems to be a fair amount of accumulation going down here below 133. So I'm going to VLO and what else did we look at? MPC. All right. Oh, and just so you guys know, fair game. If I really like one of these charts, stocks, I'm going to toss it out there to pick. Okay, what do we got? Now this Valero, it is at an extreme price, right? But you see some nice building. You could argue that this is an extreme range, and it kind of looks like it wants to go down to this 82 level, right? But I'd want to watch. I mean, this is very long-term, 5-year, right? So, there's a bid on this sucker for sure. Let's look at just a little bit shorter term. It rejected pretty hard at this 160. So, of the two, I think MPC looks a little bit more content at these levels. But it's that margin expand, the potential for margin expansion, or at least maintaining their high margins, right? Frankly, I don't know how much of this margin, profit margin, the markets have already priced in, right? So, all right, let's see. What else we got? Those were good ones. Thank you. Manny. All right. I don't know. All right. Let's look at, let's look at gold real quick. Okay. So he's saying GLD, which is an ETF on gold. It bottomed. I'm looking here at gold futures. There's going to be more trading, more insight. 30 days, it's just grinding lower. I mean, it certainly bounced off a bottom right here. When I was looking at, but it doesn't look bullish. I really wouldn't be surprised, especially there's nothing motivating in this market right now. We're just kicking around. But so it can go anywhere, right? There's just a ton of volume all through here. The market is highly, highly uncertain about gold. It can't build a consensus or any kind of bias in gold. My gut tells me it's going to drift a little bit lower. I think so. I'm just 30-day. I think it'll drift lower, but that's not a high conviction call, and the market doesn't really know which way it's going. It's what I'm seeing. All right, let's take a look here. Roland. Okay, Roland, SNOW. Excuse me. Hey, we got a good crowd here. All right. Hey, so just as a reminder, all you guys that jumped in, if you got anything you want me to look at, drop it in the chat. Snow, but I'm gonna run through some Sizzle stocks here in a second. Ones with high option volume. All right, Snowflake. It's AI, right? Mm-hmm. Um, just it's a wide range and not a pretty evenly distributed volume, right? I mean, there's a little bit more here and a little less here, but nothing that shows. Let's go down and look at 10 days. Oh, this is a little consolidation going on right around here on this 152, right? You see it traded down and now it's been building volume right through here. Okay, so I think the stock is trying to convince, although, what a kind of range. Here's an interesting, so I kind of like the way this looks, right? I'd like for them all to be saying the same thing, but this, you've got here's the most volume traded out here at 151. You've got falling volume as the price goes higher, right? So there's it's kind of like the buyers are worn out and they're playing defense, trying to win, and the sellers, have the advantage here. Is the way I read these. Failed, got to an extreme level based on the last 5 days, and failed. What's the implied vol on this? 70%. Okay, so this this range from where it is at 154, let's say, I think it wants to go below 147 actually. That might be hard to milk a lot of a great option. If you're buying puts on this, it might be hard to take a lot out of this trade given volatility is so high at 70%. But this looks like it wants to head back down to around 147 or lower for me, to me. But nothing. And let's go long. Let's just see what's done over the last year. All of this. Here's what the market did. Oh, I get your hype. Oh, okay, no. And then it's saying this is all you're getting way over yourself there, kiddos. And generally kind of looks like it's headed lower to me. All right. I think it's longer term. This thing's going a fair bit lower, probably below 100. And I think there might be a little 5-day trade. 5-day trade on snow. To short it. Yeah. Okay. Down to 145. Okay, let's keep going. I heard a couple earnings tomorrow on snow. Thanks, Roland. Okay. Yeah, that's okay. Yeah, so let's look at that. Yeah, okay, I see that right there. What are we expecting? That's not giving me. Okay. This, it'll be interesting if this shows up in Sizzle Stocks. But yeah, I think I love that earnings are coming out. I think they're going to be, it might be worth playing. Very short term. Okay, Adobe, Azim, all right. ADBE. Ooh, there's a lot of trading right here. It's waiting for something. Yeah, this is a new regime. Look at that motivating lower. Let's look at 5. So that's the 30-day. 5-day. Wow. 41% on the implied volatility. Okay, so this was tradable, right? I like it. I like Adobe. I mean, I like the trade. There's something here possible, but it's not. And it's point of control's lowered. Oh, this is the 1 day. Oh yeah, okay. All right, let's zoom out just a little bit, get some context around this sucker. 1 year. Market just doesn't know what to take. Look at this range. Even over the last year, 440 down to 290. I mean, it's like it's giving up on it. Yeah, Adobe, I didn't see anything that looks terribly bullish, and actually it looks like it might be motivated a little bit on the downside. So that's what I see there. All right. Thank you for that, Azim. Awesome. Ledge trade to me. Look out below. Ledge. Oh, yes, on the ledge. Yeah, it kind of does to me too. I feel like it's setting up for a move, right? All right. Okay. I think I got everything you guys dropped in here. So let's just hop over to Sizzle Stocks real quick. So let me run my screen. Sizzle Stocks. So this is just stocks with a lot of volume on their options for the day. Higher than average. It just takes a second to run here. Just give me a minute while that's pulling up. Let's look at crude oil. Okay. Boy, I tell you what, it's just this 82 to 72, right? It's been here forever. Look, that's 30 days, 70-ish. Oh, yeah, a little bit higher, the last 90 days. It did get up here, but most of the trading's just been right here. There is nothing. No, the only thing I would say about oil, it's getting towards the higher end of its recent range, and this 5-day looks like it, could be stretching what that range is. Yeah, not much there. All right, let's look at natural gas. What is taking my watch list so long to? All right, natural gas. God, so cheap. So this is just amazing. I don't think, oh my gosh. Boy, it didn't look like we'd be at $2 when we were up here, did it? Let's see. So initiating action, right? It must have traded, started 24 hours ago. It was way down here, moved up to, so 255 up to 272. And now it's just initiating on the way back down again. This is the 5-day. This could be 240 could be some pretty good support. So I'd watch to see how it gets through that. Below that, we're looking at $2. Good Lord. We got that. Yeah, we got down to 196. Man, oh man. Man, oh man. Yeah. I think this thing wants to go down a little bit over the near term. Natural gas looks like a short. Sure. I mean, there's, yeah. I mean, you could argue some of the fundamentals for it, but I mean, we've had a crazy mild winter here on the East Coast, other than some crazy natural gas prices in California. I don't know what's taking the Sizzle Stocks. Oh, well, but we're taking so long, but oh, well, we can keep going here. Let's look at NASDAQ. Let's look at the 30-day. So this is interesting. Well, I think it looks quite a bit different than the S&P, which is kind of remarkable. So it's right at its point of control over the last 30 days, right here at 1210, right where it's been. Let's see if anything looks motivated lower. It's kind of to get this building volume, and you could argue that it's eye on 1170, but it's not a high conviction. 1192. See, this one looks. I mean, here the direction looks lower. So here, let's do this. I want to compare this. So let's look this exact compared to S&P 500, right? So here the S&P looks bullish, like it's building up to 4065. On the 10-day, same thing. Maybe I don't know that I don't think it'll get up to here, but this is a bullish building pattern too, and this is not bearish, right? I would say here's that same bullish building pattern, right? Maybe below below 39.40, you've got a little bit of a drop. But the S&P looked kind of bullish while the NASDAQ looks bearish. That's interesting. I do not know why my Sizzle stocks are not loading, but it looks like we got plenty to talk about anyway. So let's go back. Let's see if anybody dropped a name. Gasoline futures. Okay. It looks like a... All right, let's go UGA. So we look, so gasoline futures are RBOB. How's that UGA? I imagine that's got to be a pretty thinly traded ETF. How's that trade, Ray? But here we go. All right, so 30-day. I mean, it's got a little bit of resistance right here. You know, not a high volume, but it's the grind here. You know, I kind of, based on, all right, so near-term range, you know, it's kind of bounced off this range here and looks like it might want to trade lower. I don't know what your timeline is on this, Raymond, what you're kind of thinking. So it looks bearish in the very near term. This is the 5-day, so 258 looks like a decent target. That's where it started, you know, that's where it traded the most today. This is just the last 24 hours. You know, below 262, 250, you know, I don't know if that's enough really to squeeze much of a profit out of that. But let's look, you know, I mean, I think it might be about as extended as it's going to get in the near term. That's what I would say. It looks a little bit lower. All right, Bill, I'll get to MCC, Azim, CCL. CCL, let's look at CCL real quick. And what is CCL? Okay. Oh, yeah, Carnival Cruises. $90-day. All right, so you can almost look at build volume, higher volume, right? Volume keeps building the lower it goes. Definitely, I think I'd hold on to them. I'd hold on to them, Azim. You know, I don't know that there's enough to jump into this trade right now, but so the 10-day kind of building right around here, but that 5-day looks like it would definitely wanted to go lower. So, and then a 30-day, yeah, I think I didn't look at the 5-day. That's right. So, okay, here's what I'm sorry. So the 30-day looks like, so it might have a bottom here. I don't know when your expiration is. I don't know how long you're looking to hold this thing. I think it could bounce back to around 11 here, 11.10. But I think generally the overall direction is just going to keep grinding lower. Okay. All right. That's a good one. Thank you for that. 6 months on the UGA, strategic reserve empty. Saudis and Russia's love high price oil, shortage of refinery capacity. Yeah, Raymond, I hear you. Yeah, so I think, you know, that those longer term kind of fundamental issues look great. Just looks a little weak here in the short term, and that's simply because there's no conviction out in the market right now. Right? There's almost that nobody can believe what's going on. There's very little conviction out there in the market. So, but I think you got a good 6-month trade. That makes sense. All right. What did I see there? MCK. All right, Billy boy is back. McKesson. And what did these do? Okay. Yeah. All right. So let's see. It's retesting some levels it initiated a long time ago, and this is 90 days. So while it's retesting 340, which, you know, based on the last 90 days as context, looks like a pretty extreme move. But let's zoom on in. Let's take a look. Same sort of. So I would, you know, never catch a falling knife. You know, that's what these kind of moves on low volume are. You don't know how far they can go. I would say that if it got back up above 358, and MCK above 358, above 358. I think that looks good. Up to 378, and that's, let's see what this 10-day says. So that's 30 days. Let's same sort of thing, you know. But that looks, I think it generally looks, yeah, it's just a little too, not enough trading, you know, over the last 5 days to give you much. Let's just see. All right. Let's zoom out. Let's look at 1 year. Let's just see 5 years how this is traded. Okay, so you got to you got to know, you know, we're at a very high level, but this is a new range, right? This market may not really care about what's going on here. I can't really make out. It looks like earnings they're all solid, strong. They've generally been building higher over the last. I mean, I think this looks pretty good. Just generally, as a, you know, if you were going to buy a stock, even though if it's such a high price, it seems to be doing the right thing. But, you know, I'd be cautious. I don't know that I'd step in right here above 356. I think it looks pretty good. Good one, Bill. All right, we got time for probably one more. What is the website where all of my Marquet ladder material is housed now that she is with Prosperity Pub? Sylvia, you know, I do not know. I will have to. I'll ask the question. Let's see. I'll ask DA. Let's see. I will. Okay, all right. So we'll see if we can get an answer for you. What is the high flyer stock on your watch list? I don't know what you mean. The high flyer stock on my watch list. Don't know. Are you looking like this one right here? Is that what you're looking at? The Twilio, which the one we were short. Yeah, that's Twilio. Right here. So yeah, that's anyway. Okay. All right. So let me see. Sylvia, I think I got your question. We're going through all the stocks. Let's look at Twilio. This was, well, and then we'll call it a day at that. So Twilio, this was one that was short, has not worked out. It's so volatile, right? I mean, it just makes really, really big moves. See that this is just, it's really hard to get a bias out of this type of pattern right here. Over the last 5 days, it's point of control. I mean, look at, it's right back to, yeah. So kind of tough to get any direction out of Twilio. So that's about all I got on that one, Manny. Okay, all right, that is it. Looks to me like institutions have given up on MCK. Yeah, I don't know. So what looks like institutions have given up on it. Well, I mean, I really think it depends on your context, right? You know, it's pushing down here. I'm not really. It's kind of hard to. It's retesting these lower levels down here, but you know, they could have. Hey, Marco, I'm at the end of yeah, I can look at VIX. So here's my qualification on VIX. Oh, and then we got DLR. Okay, we'll stick around here for a couple more. I'm going to do these two then. So first, let's look at DLR, and then I'll give you my qualification on VIX, and then we can take a look at them. Okay, so Digital Realty Trust. 90-day. I think I feel like this looks like the building of a new range. Let's zoom in a little bit. Well, wants to go to 98. Wants to go to 98. Let's look at 10-day. just, not no real. It's just dripping lower. I would say not a ton of direction or bias on this stock. Maybe it kind of gets, back down to this level out of just complete lack of. That's a 6% move from here, $100. So maybe a little bit lower, but I don't see, a whole lot of direction one way or the other. Okay, and now VIX futures. All right, so here's VIX. Volatility is not an asset class. It is a derivative. So we're looking at the VIX futures here. And certainly I had a lot of colleagues in the institutional space that would argue that volatility was an asset. It can be traded, but there's it's a derivative, right? It's a derivative of price. Looking at the pattern, and then of course there's all that zero DTE trading volume that's kind of skewing the VIX. But just based, if we treat it like an asset class like any other, in which you can, you still see the same kind of supply and demand pattern. Look, it tested an extreme level, failed it, and now it's headed back down. Gosh, a VIX, $18 looks possible. Let's see what. Yeah, there's nothing in this, Marco, that makes me think, this is kind of over the last 5 days, it's kind of extreme, but that's nothing over the context of over the last 10 days. So I think bottom line is I think we're headed lower on that one, over the next few days. Yeah. Okay. All right. That's all I got for you guys today. That is it. Bill, I see we got Southwest Airlines, but I gotta hop. So anyway, awesome. We'll do this again next week. Appreciate you guys being here. This is really, I love doing this. Get your ideas. It just gives me time to go through the market, see what's going on. So we will see you next week. I love everybody turning out, and thanks a lot. Take care.